So, a lot of people think that their health problems just randomly show up, or their hormones are just out of balance for no reason, like there's no explanation for what's going on. But the actual root cause of literally all diseases, everything out there, is you are either avoiding something, running towards something you shouldn't be running towards, or you are very attached to something that you should not be attached to, and it is causing all of these problems in your health, in your life, and wreaking havoc. So, for instance, like when we're a baby, sometimes we suck our thumb, and then we keep sucking our thumb as a coping mechanism, right? But as we keep sucking it, our teeth start to jut out, and then all of a sudden you need braces. Well, you were attached to this coping mechanism that was giving you relief, and then it resulted in more problems. Now, this is like a very, very basic example for you, but it's the same thing with our health, right? We get attached to an unhealthy relationship, and this person sends you into these mental spirals, and then all of a sudden you get labeled as the crazy person. You leave the environment, and then all of a sudden all these problems disappear. I had this happen in my own life, where my ex-husband would created this environment where I was always the crazy one. I was too demanding. I was all of these different things, right? And I acted like the crazy person because I was attached to this marriage can't end. I want to stay in this house. I really like this house. I still miss that house sometimes. And I didn't want those things to change. So then my mental health continued to go down the shitter. And so this is what keeps happening to us over and over and over again in our lives, whether it's a physical health symptom, a mental health issue, like we're attached to something or we're avoiding something, and it's causing problems in our health, right? So let's say for like your physical health, you're avoiding slowing down because you think that productivity is the only way to prove your worth. So you avoid slowing down altogether, right? And this causes you to burn out. This causes your cortisol to increase. It causes your hormones to go out of whack. And then all of a sudden, everything's out of whack. And then maybe there's 500 million examples of what could be causing it. But like we get attached to things, whether it's a pacifier or a stuffed animal or a person or a food or a thing. And we get so attached to it, we can't imagine our life without it. But that thing is what is freaking causing us to have all of the issues in our life, right? So if we would just let go and step out of the circus for a minute and realize, wow, my life is like way calmer when I let this thing go, right? It's okay to let it go and not be so attached, holding on to it for dear life, because it's actually what's causing you problems. Same thing with the cat is going a little nuts. Same thing with avoiding things, right? Like we avoid hard conversations, even though it's probably what would set us free. We avoid meditating. We avoid working out. We say, oh, I don't have time for that. I got to get home to do the laundry and the dishes and da-da-da. And then you have an hour to scroll on your phone. Like you had an hour to go to the gym. And so we avoid those things by justifying, oh, we don't have the time for this. Oh, we don't have the time for that. We don't have the time for any of these things. And it's what's causing us problems in our life. Like if we would just actually do the hard thing and be uncomfortable for a minute, then it wouldn't be such a big deal and we would feel better, right? Like a lot of times, these animals. A lot of times, once we do the thing we've been avoiding, like for instance, I used to meditate twice a day, every single day, never missed it. Then I let life get in the way. I said, oh no, these things are more important. Well, then I start realizing my mind's going nuts. I'm not focused. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Things are kind of just like a little wonky. And it's like, oh, you need to stop avoiding slowing down again. And you need to take a break. And then when you take that break, you will get more clarity of like, I don't actually have to be doing any of those things to get to where I want to go, because they're not serving a purpose for any of it. So it's the same thing like if we're having gut issues, right? A lot of that comes back to stress. A lot of that comes back to what's going on up in our mind and not anything else. Like, are we rushing? Are we stressed? Are we freaking out? Are we trying to check off way too many things on the to-do list and being like, I gotta get all this stuff done or the world's gonna end? Dude, the world's not gonna end if you don't do the dishes tonight. I promise. If you make time for the hot bath, the meditation, the slower meal, not shoveling food down your throat and not chewing everything, you're going to feel way better. And then when you feel way better, you have the capacity to hold more things. So it's like, we have to do the hard things, right? Like, if you don't do the hard things, your life is going to stay the same. You're going to continue to feel like shit. You're going to continue to wonder why all these symptoms keep popping up. But like, here's the deal. I have clients all the time, right? My clients have to book more than one session at a time, because with holistic healing, natural healing, diet, lifestyle, herbs, like it's not here, take these pills, you'll be all better, I can see you next year. No, it is like a lot of steps to get to where you need to go. I have people all the time pay for 2, 3, 4 sessions in advance. They show up for one. I see them in town. I ask them, how's it going? Have you implemented these things? Like, it's time for a follow-up. Let's book a follow-up. Oh, I haven't implemented anything. Oh, I haven't done that. They're avoiding the thing that would actually make them better because it's uncomfortable. It's forcing them to change. It's forcing them to face the reality of what they have done to their body. And they're attached. They're attached to the identity that they've had. They're attached to the symptoms. They're attached to all of these things, right? Like, so I have this one client. He was born with a health defect and then lived a relatively normal, like, childhood, adult life, whatnot, and then got diagnosed with autoimmune and some other conditions. But he is so attached to the identity that he is a sick person that even when you lay out the whole protocol, you try to walk it through him, you offer to cook his meals, you offer to do everything that you possibly can, and like almost spoon feed the information, he will not do it. He comes up with arguments. He comes up with reasons why, excuses, all these things, because he has no idea how to not be identified as not the sick. He's attached to that identity. And this is where, like, Western medicine sometimes really annoys me with their diagnoses. They're great if you see it as just a way to understand what's going on in your body and don't get attached to it. You are not the diagnosis. You just simply have those symptoms right now. Once we get attached to the diagnosis, it's really hard to let go and be like, I am not bipolar. I am not mentally ill. I am not diabetic, right? Because you get attached to the identity of that disease, but that isn't you. That's an outside thing, right? Our internal thing is unchanging, always the same. And that's when we slow down, we do the hard shit, and we actually like make the changes, right? Let go of the hard things. Let go of the pacifier. Let go of the blankie. Let go of the chips or the candy or the chocolate or whatever your comfort thing is, right? And feel what is being avoided. Then we can actually work through it and climb the mountain and get to the other side. It's the same thing. Like, they go hand in hand. We're attached and we are avoiding something all at the same time, right? We're attached to eating chocolate because it comforts our emotions and we don't have to process them. We're avoiding the emotions so that we don't have to process with chocolate, so we don't have to process them. And so it's like, if we just let the chocolate go, we would stop avoiding, we wouldn't be attached, and we would figure out what the frick is going, like, oh, I'm eating chocolate every time I have a bad day at work. Every night. Oh, every Monday through Friday is a bad day. Then you start to process, I don't really like my job. I don't feel aligned with this. This isn't what I'm here for on my soul's journey. I need to make a change. And then you can start taking the steps. But if you just keep coming home eating the chocolate and numbing your pain or drinking the booze or whatever you do, it's not gonna click. And the imbalance is always gonna be there, right? Because then the booze or the sugar or whatever is creating its own problems in your body, whether it's mentally or physically, and it's going to depend on the person how they show up. But that is what is going on. So we have to let go of the attachment, and we have to stop avoiding the hard things and process them so that we can actually feel better. If you want more of this juiciness, feel free to like, subscribe, follow, join my school group, whatever floats your boat there. And let's keep chatting in the comments. So great to see you guys tonight.